The rain was coming down in sheets, pounding relentlessly against my windshield as I drove along the deserted highway. The night was dark and unforgiving, the only source of light being my car's headlights that sliced through the darkness. I was tired, eager to get home after a long day of driving, but something made me slow down as I approached a figure on the side of the road. A hitchhiker. I couldn't just leave them out here in the storm. My heart went out to them, so I signaled and pulled over. The figure emerged from the shadows, and as they climbed into the passenger seat, I caught a glimpse of their face, an unsettling mix of weariness and desperation. "Thank you for stopping," they said, their voice soft and slightly shaky. "I've been stranded out here for hours." "No problem," I replied, forcing a smile. "It's a terrible night to be out here. Where are you headed?" They mentioned a town not too far away, and I nodded, easing the car back onto the road. We exchanged a few pleasantries, but there was an underlying tension that I couldn't shake. Maybe it was the fact that I was alone in the car with a stranger, or maybe it was just the eerie atmosphere of the night. As we drove, I stole glances at them from the corner of my eye. They seemed on edge, their fingers tapping rhythmically on their knees. I cleared my throat, attempting to ease the growing discomfort that settled between us. "Is everything all right?" I asked, trying to sound casual. They turned to me, their eyes wide and filled with something that I couldn't quite place. "I'm just nervous," they admitted, their voice trembling. I nodded, understanding their apprehension. I kept my eyes on the road, the rain making it difficult to see much beyond the beams of my headlights. But then I noticed something in the distance, a faint glow that seemed to flicker in the darkness. As we got closer, the glow became more distinct. It was a small, abandoned motel, its neon sign buzzing and sputtering in the rain. "Looks like there's a motel up ahead," I said, gesturing toward it. "If you want, I can drop you off there. Might be a safer option than waiting on the side of the road." They hesitated, their gaze fixed on the motel. "No, thank you," they finally said, their voice strained. "I'll just continue on to the town." I shrugged, trying not to show my concern. "It's up to you. Just thought I'd offer." The rest of the drive was tense, the silence punctuated only by the sound of rain and the occasional rumble of thunder. The atmosphere inside the car had grown stifling, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about the hitchhiker. Their eyes never left the road, their posture rigid, as if they were bracing for something. Finally, we reached the town they had mentioned. I pulled over to the side of the road, and they opened the door, a sense of urgency in their movements. "Thanks for the ride," they said quickly, their hand on the door handle. "Take care," I replied, my voice laced with unease. With that, they stepped out into the rain and disappeared into the night. I watched them go, my heart still pounding from the strange encounter. As I drove away, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. A few miles down the road, I spotted a police car parked on the shoulder. Relief flooded over me. Maybe I could report the strange encounter and get some answers. I pulled up behind the police car, my heart racing as I got out and approached the officer. "Excuse me," I said, my voice slightly shaky. "I just wanted to report something unusual." The officer turned to me, his expression serious. "Go ahead." I recounted the story of picking up the hitchhiker, the tension in the car, and the eerie motel. The officer listened intently, his gaze never leaving my face. When I finished, he sighed and rubbed his temple. "Ma'am, I appreciate your concern, but there's something you should know," he began. "This town was hit hard by a series of disappearances a few years ago. People reported encountering strange figures on the side of the road, just like the one you described, and every time those who picked them up were never seen again." My blood ran cold as his words sank in. What are you saying?" He met my gaze with a solemn look. "I'm saying that you're lucky to be standing here right now. We've been trying to figure out what's happening, but these things, they're not human. They lure people in, make them feel sympathetic, and then—" He trailed off, leaving the rest unsaid. My mind raced as I tried to process what he was telling me. The hitchhiker I had picked up, the strange motel, the sense of unease that had settled between us. It all made horrifying sense now. As I stood there, shivering in the rain, The officer's radio crackled to life, a voice on the other end urgently calling for backup. He excused himself and rushed back to his car, leaving me standing alone on the side of the road, my heart still racing. I watched as the police car's flashing lights disappeared into the distance, the rain washing away any trace of the encounter. My hands trembled as I realized just how close I had come to a chilling fate. The image of the hitchhiker's eyes, wide with an unsettling intensity, would forever haunt my nightmares. And as I drove away from that cursed town, I knew that I had narrowly escaped a fate far worse than I could have ever imagined.
If you are new to the channel, subscribe so you will never miss a wicked haunting story. If you like this video, smash that like button so others will know it's worth watching. And don't forget to click the notification bell to get notified when new stories are released.